Inside the Game rolls along here on the National Soccer Network as we welcome you back in here, Nate Wangler and Ryan Glinsky. Ryan, you weren't kidding about those lights, man. You look a little bit more,
Right?
dare I say, Casper-ish today. You know who Casper the Friendly Ghost is by chance?
No.
Oh, okay. Hey, really? You don't know who Casper the Friendly Ghost is? All right, that might be another generational thing that we've stumbled upon.
I
But
do
no,
not.
it certainly looks brighter in there. Did you add another light? What did you do
No, I
again?
just moved some stuff around. That looks a little bit
Okay.
better. I'll probably have to turn down a couple of the lights, but hey, it's better than yesterday where I was like pixelating when I went like this. So it's better. Probably got to turn down a couple lights. But hey, no, it's better than yesterday. So we're getting there slowly. When things get moved around, you got to adjust. So trying to do my best here
Yeah.
to adjust today here in the
Yeah.
studio. But hey, we got a fun show, so I'm ready to go.
Dude, we have a stacked one lined up for you guys here today. We got a couple of exciting deals coming up down the line here on the National Soccer Network, right? So as always, just keep it locked. We'll have that news here probably coming up in a few days here, but we'll keep you guys updated here on this show. Also, we got more USL2, USLW coming up this week. As always, Neil Rule will join us every Friday. So we'll talk to him Friday morning about what's going up this weekend in the upcoming matchups of the week. I know we talked about yesterday some of the teams and individual players that impressed us the most over the weekend. But we can launch right into hour number one here today. I know we got a ton to get to. And the first thing we have to touch on, listen, I know our show can sometimes take on a sense of maybe there's a little bias involved here. Maybe there's a little one-sidedness when it comes to certain things, albeit I would say most times we have been fair with our criticisms and our critiques, even of teams that we maybe don't necessarily, our fandom does not support. But every now and again, we'll stumble across a day where, we'll take a victory lap or we'll allow someone the floor to talk about something good that's happened. And obviously yesterday, the biggest news in the soccer world right now is that, Arsenal could win the league today. That wait of 20 plus years could finally be over for that club. It's crazy to think we're here, Ryan, but you said you had a good feeling it could happen, and it realistically could.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday was stressful enough. It didn't need to be stressful, but man, was it stressful yesterday. Um, but you know what? They got to the final 90 minutes. They're 90 minutes away, whether that's today, whether that's Sunday. But it doesn't really matter if they just get it done. That's all that truly matters. I think yesterday was a missed opportunity a little bit in terms of helping their goal difference. If it were to go down into goal difference, what's up, Fabian? Thanks for hopping in today. If it were to go to goal difference, I think it was a missed opportunity yesterday. But you know what?
Mm.
It's 3 points. I can't really complain more about the 3 points. But you know what? 3 points is 3 points. I'll never apologize for that. Would have liked a couple more goals at the end of the day, but is what it is. Today, though, if Man City were to draw or lose to Bournemouth, Arsenal would be Premier League champions. As crazy as that is to sound, we're potentially 90 minutes away from doing that, and if not, 90 minutes away at least on Sunday, which was debating on whether or not going on the boat this weekend. But I don't know if I really want to do that. So if it does come down, no, because then the trophy presentation would be there anyway. So yeah, no, I probably would say no to the boat at least for the early part of the day. But again, Bournemouth on the other side. 55 points right now. They are 4 points behind Liverpool for the final Champions League spot. So there is something to play for. If you're Bournemouth, you get a win today. You're 1 point behind Liverpool. And again, final day of the season, anything comes down to it. If I'm being honest, though, I really like this Premier League season has storylines all over the place. You have relegation's going to come down to, I would say, the final day. I don't necessarily know if Tottenham is going to win today against Chelsea. I highly doubt it, but Chelsea's been playing horrible, and they have nothing to play for, really. Actually, no, they could get into the Conference League if they were to win that. The Conference League has implications. The Europa League has implications. Champions League has implications. And the Premier League title, that's what you want from a league. Do I really think, though, that we're going to win the league today? No, I don't think so. I think Man City is going to win it. is going to win today against Bournemouth. I think that with the news of Pep Guardiola not returning, which we talked to you guys about that yesterday, and we know exactly who the predecessor is according to David Ornstein. He did mention yesterday that it would be Enzo Maresca to take him. It just needs like the final some dot some I's and cross some T's. So that's all he's got to do for that. But it is going to be Enzo Maresca. I think that is a massive lift for Man City. As a manager who's won, I think, 6 Premier Leagues, I know, at least a Champions League, probably like 6 Carabao Cups. I don't know. I think he's won at least 20 trophies, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, that happened as well. I don't think it happens today, so Arsenal fans don't get your hopes up. To be honest, I don't even plan on like watching the game. To be honest, I got some other things I got to do. I don't see it happening, but I do want to get this out of the way. Josh Hart, absolute douchebag. I really hope that the Cavs beat you now. So Josh Hart is a Chelsea fan, and he goes, that trash club will win the league solely because they have the refs and VAR on payroll. And it's the photo of Kai Havertz, who probably should have been sent off yesterday. I'm not going to disagree with that. He should have been sent off yesterday. But if Phil Foden's challenging and Bournemouth wasn't sent off, then that's not a red card. Consistency is what we want. The line has been drawn in the sand a while back ago. If that's not a red card, then this is not a red card. And Josh, to talk about, a team winning a league, do we really want to go down Chelsea's pathway? Do we really want to go down how they got to where they are today? Do we really want to go down that way? Because we can. Roman Abramovich, his money, not really clean. Where did he come from? Came from Russia. He's boys with a certain leader from Russia as well. That's not really a good sign. And Abramovich was forced to sell his club because he was boys with that man. So I'm just saying, if you want to complain about Arsenal VAR, Chelsea's not so clean, my man. And they've also had a whole bunch of penalties not too long ago. So I'm just saying they aren't clean. And to say Arsenal, because of VAR. Since Abramovich has sold the club, you guys have done absolutely nothing. So it's almost like when the cheaters finally get brought to light and they get the punishments and they can't do anything. I just love it. I love it sometimes. And Josh Hart, I don't think I've ever rooted for a Ohio team in my entire life. But I might be rooting for the Cavs, to beat you guys in the playoffs. As much as I really find the Knicks fans' videos fun, and I would love to see what it looks like in the finals when they lose to the Thunder or the Spurs. More on that game later. That was an unbelievable game last night. But I really want the Cavs to win now. I want the Cavs to win the Eastern Conference Finals because of this douchebag, Josh Hart, saying that on Twitter yesterday. I really do. Simply because Josh Hart is a douchebag. I also don't like Jalen Brunson, and I don't like Cat either, but I don't really like James Harden or Donovan Mitchell or any of those guys. But, like, Josh Hart attacking my team. Now, if James Harden comes out and is all of a sudden like a Man City fan, then I'll go back to the Knicks. But no, as of right now, I hope the Knicks lose. So thank you, Josh Hart, for being a total douchebag.
Yeah, you can't make me hate Josh Hart, man. That dude's cool. It's
Josh
interesting. I was listening
Josh
to
Hart's
that interview with Michael Beasley and Shannon Sharp, and I know Michael Beasley is an abstract character in so many ways. He's almost kind of like borderline psycho. He reminds me a lot of KG, the way that like his mannerisms and the way that he talks and the way that he communicates and just his general intensity. But he always talked about how Josh Hart was arguably the best teammate he's ever had from like a mental health perspective, which
is a complaint.
To be a good teammate in that regard, like the only one that he said he could remember from his playing career that was like truly showed up in any way. So I get it. I mean, truthfully, I've never been in a situation where I've ever cheered for Josh Hart because I don't think he's ever played for an organization that I personally love. But no, you can't make me hate Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart's great, but yeah, I mean,
soft.
It's such a typical sports thing to just claim that everybody else has the referees on their side. Like, I don't really buy into all that.
It's weird when it
cheap
comes
trash
to the
talk.
Knicks.
It's just cheap trash talk that's meant to get a rise out of people, and clearly it got a rise out of you. So I think job done at the end of the day, but. No, it'll be interesting to see if Arsenal can finish it off here today. Just the history behind all that is is wild. And when you go through so many different iterations of thinking that you finally have it figured out only to just fall by the wayside, I mean, that became their reputation. And now they can completely change that in one match. So it leads to nerves, it leads to all those other things. In terms of what Man City, and I know that we wanted to briefly mention that before you got to the Josh Hart thing, and Pep leaving, what a legacy he left behind. But again, we talked about the importance yesterday of them, being willing to promote someone that was familiar, and being willing to try to create any sort of continuation of what they had with Pep. And I think that they're taking that step. Will they be as good as they have been? I don't think so. I think a lot of Man City fans are in for not a rude awakening, but an awakening nonetheless. It's whenever you see those organizations, those franchises that have been good for a decade or maybe longer than a decade, and all of a sudden they go through a regime change and now it all looks completely different than what it looked before. You're going to have some sort of a wake up. What that looks like, I don't know. I don't think I don't think anybody really comes close to touching what they've done over the last, however many years that Pep has been here. However,
United could. United could.
They're not good.
In the Fergie days.
United, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yep, if they're able. I mean, if Michael Carrick can bring him back to that level, but
I don't think he does.
will there be a drop off? Absolutely, there will be. There will be.
Also, the charges
but
finally get brought to light. That'd be awesome. And
Yeah.
to the Man City point, I just love when a team, a dynasty like that falls. Because it's not on like good merit. It didn't happen because they did it the right way. No, they didn't do it the right way at all. Like they had oil money. Obviously they fudged the numbers a handful of times, and where they got their money. So, no, I don't necessarily I would really like to see this thing collapse and crumble in a best way. I would love to see this collapse, and all of a sudden, I already said what I wanted to see. I just want to see them next year in the Prem negative like 60 points. That's what I want to see. Negative 60 points at the bottom of the Premier League graphic every single time. That's what I want to see. I would love to just see them just stumble. That's what I want to see them do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the question is, right, like, what is the right way? The
right way is to give them negative points, and then play the Premier League season, and they get relegated that way, and then they continue to go down. That's what I would like to see. That's the right way.
Building a dynasty the right way.
Building the dynasty the right way is if it would be if Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp, if that was a true dynasty, I think that way, and if Arsenal became a dynasty this way, those would be the right ways. Those would be the right ways because they don't need oil money. They aren't cheating that we know of. They're not cheating that we know of. They didn't go out and spend like $200 million in January because they have all the money in the world. No, they did it. They built through the youth academy. They built through young players. They built through in Liverpool's sense, they just found some cast-offs. I mean, Mo Salah, cast-off. Sadio Mane a little bit. Bobby Firmino, no one really knew about. So, and then in Arsenal's case, a whole bunch of youngsters. Saliba, no one really knew about. Gabriel, no one knew about. Saka, obviously, an academy guy. Martinelli they found him in the 4th division of Brazil for $6 million, and he turned out to be a pretty good player. Odegaard was a cast-off. I swear to God, Odegaard better not play on Sunday. I swear. If we have... God, he just pisses me off sometimes. Put Ebert, Eze, and Miles Lewis-Skelly out there. That's all you got to do, Mikel. But anyway, the right way is not cheating, and that's what Man City did, clearly. Chelsea's won a handful of trophies, and clearly they cheated, and clearly we're finally seeing that when you don't cheat and you don't have dirty money, what can happen to you. That'd be the biggest thing. That's the proper way of building a dynasty, just to not cheat, and clearly Man City and Chelsea are doing that. PSG, technically you could probably put in the same conversation as well. So I'm just saying that's what it is. And I do want to go back to the ref point real quick because someone brought up a really good point on this yesterday. I was scrolling through social media. I don't think refs want to make calls in big situations. I genuinely don't think they do because the Havertz thing, that's a clear red card. I don't know why it wasn't called. I just don't think refs want to be put in the spot where they have to make a championship altering call. I don't think they want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just want to be
Mm-hmm.
out there and just like, I feel like as a referee, if it does go down to the final day on Sunday, I think that those referees just want no controversy. I think they are just going to let things play out because,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of PK, we should have had 2 PKs yesterday, and they did not even, whoa. Simeon just topped in the chat. I've never seen him before. Comes in and says, "Hello, evil Americans." Okay. All right.
I don't know what I did to you, but all right.
Not gonna read the next comment. I understand why you're probably calling us evil Americans. That's this is a sports podcast, my friend. Anyway, getting back to the main point. This is a sports podcast, Simeon. If you got issues
Yep.
with other things, we're not touching that. You can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really thought he was gonna go somewhere else when he said evil Americans. So, let's talk Arsenal now. Okay, yeah, we're talking about Arsenal right now. Simeon went from way left to way right in this whole situation. Dang. We're back in the middle finally. Anyway, Arsenal. I just don't think referees want to be put in a situation to alter a championship. I firmly believe they don't want to do that because they don't want to be the one to, be all over social media maybe, or maybe in history there's a documentary and they've got to be interviewed about a certain call or something like that. I don't think they want to be in this situation. And I think they don't want to do that. I think there will be something questionable today in Man City Bournemouth that would go against Man City and hurt them. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, we're not going to call that. I firmly believe that because that should have been a red card. The West Ham call, that was clearly a foul, and rightfully so. They called it correctly. But how many challenges and penalties have we seen in recent time where that should have been called and it has not been called? I think it's the same thing could be said about the NBA and the NFL during playoff runs. I think that they just don't want to make the final call. I think it's great what the UFL is doing, by the way. Just
Well, they don't want
referees
to
after
because
after the call. I think that's great. Can we please implement that in all of our leagues?
No, I agree. No,
Hey,
I think
why is that
interviewing-
called?
I
Why is
think-
that called pass interference, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
And they
should
want
be,
nothing
and I mean
to
that's
do with it either. It's so
that's
funny.
freedom of the press. Yeah, it's freedom of the press. I mean, it's allowing them to talk about what exactly it is that came to that decision. And we've seen it before. And we see it in historical moments. Generally speaking, what we don't see it is post-game in a situation like this. But I think the thing that's hard is that those calls, even if they are late or there's one or two of them, if it changes the trajectory of the game, absolutely. Like I even think about like Asar Thompson at the end of the Stones game the other day. Like those
Yeah, they
games
don't wanna
change
make
everything.
that. They don't
Those
wanna make
calls
that
change
call.
everything, but they also realize that that call is going to become the entire storyline, right? Not everything that led up to that moment. We're going to hyperfixate on this 5-second exchange that led to exactly the results that we saw. That's why it's hard, to make those big calls in those big moments. And there is something to be said about if it was in this situation, it would have been called. If it's in this situation, it would have. Like it's I don't think they want to be the storyline. I think referees maybe in a way are like, we don't want to be the story. We want to let the game be the game. And so I think to that degree, you certainly got to point it. It can be hard.
But it's like I just don't think, and I personally wouldn't even want to be in that situation to like make a call like that. But if it's a foul, if it's a red card, just if it's like the Asar Thompson thing, that should be a call. That should have been called a foul. I think the Havertz should have been a red card. I think Foden back earlier in the day should have been a red card. I think when Bernardo Silva literally just elbows a dude in the back, literally the player's just standing there and just throws an elbow, that's a card as well. But no one wants to call it. So it's I can understand why they don't want to do it, but I mean, at the end of the day, a foul's a foul. You should go by the letter of the law, whatever sport it is. But I don't know. It just doesn't make sense sometimes, man. And I did, but I know we have to go to a break. I wanted to throw this in here real quick as well. Nate, if we were to win the league at Selhurst Park on Sunday, and I mean, even if they don't win it, even if Man City loses today and we hoist the trophy, there's something therapeutic about doing it at Selhurst Park on Sunday, Nate. You want to know why? Because in 2022, the first game of the season, Arsenal wearing their pink jerseys, which, by the way, is the best jersey we've ever come up with. We played amazing soccer in those jerseys. I will never forget the vibes in the pink kits. Starting this whole journey was at Selhurst Park in 2022 when Saka scored. And we finally saw the emergence of Martinelli when he scored off a corner. Fun fact, scored off a corner. And then we saw Zinchenko, and we saw Gabriel Jesus dribble through. We finally saw Xhaka not be a complete douchebag. And I know exactly where I was watching this game. I was doing tile work in Detroit. And the game was on a Friday night, and it's in my pocket while I'm tiling everything. My boss is like, Ryan, what are you listening to? And I'm like, the pink, Simeon, the pink and yellow kits. The yellow ones, I think you're talking about the Ozil ones. Those ones were sick back in the day. But my boss is like, what are you watching? And I'm like, Kurt, this is the Arsenal, man. This is the team that I root for. This is the first game of the season. And I solely thought we were going to lose first game of the season because it's Friday night, start the season on the road. We always lose these games, so we didn't. And if that was the start of the journey, Nate, I just thought we were going to just make top 4 that year. They were in a title race for some reason. I don't know how they did it, but they were in a title race somehow. And just to go the full circle moment 4 years later to do it would be that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
It would be. And there's a chance to
that's my sit. That's why sports are so awesome sometimes because I don't know if that was just in the script where the Premier League script writers were like, yeah, in 2022 you're going to start there. Crystal Palace will obviously stay up. I don't know. It was just great. It was just great therapy, man. Great therapy. So romantic about sports sometimes.
Let's take a break and talk about our starting 11. If maybe our best were to play this sport and stick with the sport. Again, that is the important thing. Talk about that coming up next. First, FC Bayern Summer Soccer Camps are a proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network, fostering football excellence across North America, open to boys and girls of all skill levels. FC Bayern Camps deliver elite training inspired by FC Bayern Munich's world-class philosophy. Select your city and start a promising soccer path. Right now, save $30 on registration by using promo code BayernNSN30. Again, that's BayernNSN30, or scan the QR code on your screen. Learn more at FCBayernYouth.com.
So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown, we're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. We've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be.
And we welcome you back inside the game here on the National Soccer Network here on this Tuesday. Ryan, and I know that this topic pretty much comes up every single World Cup. It is once again came up this week. I know last week we talked in length about, Rob Gronkowski and listening to an interview that he did in mentioning that American football, in some ways, in a lot of ways, sidetracked the progress, the cultural growth of soccer in the United States. Obviously, as we know, it's one of the biggest sports everywhere else around the world, with the exception of a few different countries. I'm sure there are other sports that are more popular. However, for the most part, it is the world's game. And obviously, Gronk's point in saying all this was that our best athletes oftentimes do not end up not only playing the sport to begin with, but pursuing it until the very end. Many of them play American football, basketball, what have you, any of the other assorted sports that we have. And so, in the name of having some good fun here on the show, Ryan put together his all-time starting 11 if our best athletes were to play the sport of soccer. I'm interested to hear what you got going on here.
All right, so here is my starting 11. I already said my head coach is going to be Bill Belichick. Dave says he's going to unmute it now. Damn it, Dave. Come on now. All right. Here is my starting 11. Bill Belichick's going to be our head coach, by the way. We're just going to cheat, whatever. All right, starting in net, Aaron Judge. 6'7", big frame. No one is getting past that. No one's getting past that. And you know what? He's an outfielder. He's going to be able to read crosses. He's going to be able to just pick it up, grab it. Big frame. No one's getting past this. I think the biggest goalie right now is Thibaut Courtois, like 6'5" or something. So Aaron
you can dive too,
Aaron Judge is my starting goalkeeper. All
right.
Left back, I'm going Bijan Robinson. I'm going pace down that left side. You're going to see a nice little... Oh, by the way, 4-3-3 formation, because finally, as a nation with all these top athletes, we can put four at the back and not get cooked. So Bijan Robinson's going to be my left back. He's physical, gets up and down the field. He's quick. My center backs. Again, if Schrock, this one's for you, my man. If you are in the chat. Oh, no, these are active players, by the way. That's why Michael Jordan's not in this. This is for active American athletes. Brady Tkachuk. I needed an enforcer back there. I need someone that's not going to put up with anything.
Yeah.
Tough, physical, and then I'm going to partner him with Fred Warner, top linebacker. He's smart, reads the game really well. If I can get an enforcer and a bruiser and a smart center back, that's the best pairing I can put up with. Because Brady Tkachuk, he's a good player, but he gets in the fights all the time. He's not going to be able to fight here because we can't have him getting sent off. He might lead the tournament in red cards for all I know.
That's what I'm saying. He might put you in a hole there from time to time, knowing Brady. But anyways, go ahead.
I'm getting an enforcer back there with Brady Tkachuk, and I'm getting Fred Warner. It's going to be an elite center back pairing right there. That is elite. That might be the greatest center back pairing of all time if they can actually play the game. But I got an enforcer and I got brains back there. Right back, another running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, do I have to say anything else? It's the same reason why I picked Bijan. Up and down the field, quick, physical, a quick change of direction as well. I mean, he's going to add into the attack. All right, my midfield three. Number 5, I had to put Anthony Edwards in there. There's no way I couldn't put Anthony Edwards, to be honest with you. Physical, 6'6", I think. So that's a perfect, height for a CDM. Mm-hmm. No one. Dave's already reading my mind in the chat. That's exactly why someone on this team is in a certain spot. That's exactly why. Aaron Judge equals Dennis Rodman. I don't think so. Anyway. Nate, I would look into the chat about from Fabian. He dropped you a nice comment. No, Phil Jackson is not going to be the head coach of this team. No, Phil Jackson's not. Anthony Edwards, big physical frame. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about what you think. He goes out there, he balls, he does it his own way. I'm putting him in the number 6 because that's a physical presence right there. I talk about the spine.
Bobby,
of the team.
And your city hasn't won an NBA championship since they wore nut huggers. Anyways, go ahead, Ryan.
But I'm talking about the spine. The spine of the team right now. I got a smart linebacker playing center back, and I got an enforcer at the center back position as well. Anthony Edwards, CDM as well. And then in front of him, I got 2 attacking-minded players. Steph Curry's my captain, the left side. Why? Distribution. He can shoot from distance. He's going to be outside the 18 a handful of times. He's going to shoot the ball from distance. We already know what Steph Curry range is. Next thing you know, you're going to learn about Steph Curry range on the soccer field. That's called outside the 18, and he's putting it in the top bins. And he's got such a great sports IQ in basketball, so it's going to translate to soccer. He can pick out passes left and right. That's why I'm taking Steph Curry. And this dude can dribble out of his mind. He can dribble out of his mind. Now I'm going to have to call it foot skills instead of ball handling. Foot skills are going to be out of this world. I can't wait to see a soccer routine. Opposite side of him in the midfield, Josh Allen. Not Josh Allen Hines. Josh Allen, the quarterback. Josh Allen, he's mobile. He's big. No one's going to be able to take him off the ball. He complements Steph Curry really well. Also has great vision. Has a cannon for his passes. He's going to put it on the money everywhere he goes. That's why Josh Allen is in this situation. Not because he loses in the playoffs all the time. But no, Josh Allen, midfield 3, best there is. All right, the wingers. On the right, I got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Do I have to say more? Fast, reliable. If the ball is put on his foot, he's going to catch it. On his foot, not his hands. But he's quick, mobile, elusive. He's going to dance through defenders like it's nothing. He's going to get by everyone. Also, a good frame as well as a winger, 6'1". Opposite of him, Jay Jettis. Justin Jefferson. Do I have to say more about him? Fast. It's the same thing as Jackson Smith and Jigba, just a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. And he's going to probably play with a grill in his mouth. So that's aura right there if I've never seen it. Up top.
Oh.
This goes against everything I've said about the top American athletes playing. I said there's a certain height requirement, but LeBron James is going to break all of it. He's 6'9". He's going to shield the ball really well. His distribution, underrated as a basketball player. Underrated basketball IQ, so it's going to translate to the soccer field. And what's the number one thing? He's going to have two. He's going to have two defenders defending him at all time because of how big he is. And why did I put him at the striker position? Because Dave said it himself. He's going to flop in the box and get us penalties. That's why LeBron James is also up top. He's going to flop. He's going to die. He's going to get us some PKs, and he's going to convert at the penalty spot. And he's a good aerial threat as well at 6'9". So that I could not do this without having LeBron James in there. I think Nate would get really mad at me and probably quit the show if I did not have a starting 11 without LeBron James. But that right there is the best American starting 11.
Yeah. Josh Allen being in there is I mean, I agree on some levels, but again, you're going to choke away the biggest moments ever. So
well,
like, I don't know if
so we're kind of covered there.
You know, yeah, I mean, at least you'll win a few of them and you'll get to all of them. But no, man, I mean, yeah, Brady might cause some issues, but I like where your head's at with that one. They are going to fear him. That's true. You don't want to take that in there because, you know, you might, get smacked around there. Fred Warner being right next to him, that's a scary combination. Yeah, man. I mean, I think, and Aaron Judge, yeah, not only is he huge, what's crazy to me about Judge is that he is an outfielder, is that he is, like, fleet of foot and is athletic. Like, that's the thing. You combine both those two things, you get exactly what you're getting here. So, oh, man, that is a good lineup.
Is there anyone that I left out that probably should have been in this?
Bronny will relieve him in the 84th minute. That's funny.
Bronny James coming on in.
Vertical Gambit joining us.
I did also. I think the average height of this team is like 6'3", 6'4". So this team is going to strike fear in every team that they play. You got 6'7" Judge, 6'9" LeBron, 6'4" Curry, 6'5" Josh Allen. Anthony Edwards is 6'5", 6'4", 6'6". I don't remember. Gibbs and Bijan are 6 foot plus. Brady Tkachuk 6'4". Fred Warner, I think 6'5". Jay Jettas is 6 something, and I think Smith and Jigba is the smallest. That's 6'1" or 6'2". But this team is going to strike fear in everyone that they play. Kylian Mbappe ain't got nothing on this team. Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele are going to get locked up by Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. They're doing nothing. Lamine Yamal is going to run into Bijan Robinson. Just going to push him off. And this midfield 3 makes Xavi, Busquets, and Iniesta shake in their boots. This is now the greatest midfield 3 of all time. We got the best shooter he's going to score so many goals from outside of the 18. We got mobile, we got big, and then we got someone who don't care about nothing. That's what I'm talking about. Fabian, just because this team's going to lock up your favorite team, France, doesn't mean you can say that. Because this team is better than any of them. And then we're going to not even Bill Belichick. We're going to have Greg Berhalter manage this team because why not? We're here for the memes.
Greg
Berhalter is going to manage this team. He walked into Keyworth and won. So clearly he's doing something right.
I love his look too, man. Why is he always just wearing a t-shirt? That's literally the only thing. He wears like a t-shirt and khakis. That's his entire look. Yes, the entire thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta come up. I mean, he looks fine in the t-shirt, but I'm just saying, you gotta wear something else, man. You gotta mix it up. He's just cool, Greg. He's cool, Greggy, man. He's the cool uncle. He's got like the nice, cool shoes too. I think he had J's on when he was in Keyworth.
He did have J's on. Yeah, he did have J's on his feet.
This guy. Yeah.
I would love to see Messi. I would like to see Messi go up against this team because he ain't doing nothing against this team. He's going to run into Brady Tkachuk, and Tkachuk is going to lay him out. That's exactly what's going to happen, and Warner's going to read it perfectly, and he's going to find the holes and hit him. This team, team in the world can stop this team. Not a single team. You could throw it the best combined 11 in the world, and this team ain't going to do nothing. Corner kick FC Mikel Arteta ain't going to do nothing against this team. Pep Guardiola going to do nothing against this team. Look at this team, man. This is why if we just got rid of football and basketball and baseball and hockey, we would become legit. And we would win every World Cup, and everyone would hate us truly. That no one is stopping this team. I'm telling you, Nate. Maybe we could throw in Kevin McGonigal to help our hideout to make everything even for everyone else. We still winning this thing.
Oh, man. Ugh. Yeah. No,
maybe I should throw in Asar Thompson because he's going to lock up Kylian Mbappe.
Just saying, Messi running into Brady
team.
Messi running into Brady Tkachuk might start World War III because we would piss off the entire rest of the world. And obviously Brady is beloved here, but outside, even here, some people don't like him because he's Brady Tkachuk. You know what I mean? He's Keith Tkachuk's son. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't like that dude to begin with. But that one event alone, that would be like the shot heard around the world. That would start World War III. It would all just unravel after that.
Couple things coming in. Fabian, you guys are awesome. You're awesome too, everyone in the chat. Hockey isn't a real sport. Talk to Brady Tkachuk then. And Matthew
Fabian
Tkachuk.
Say that?
Yeah. I want Matthew Tkachuk on the bench too because Matthew Tkachuk is going to start chirping the other team while he's on the bench. And they're not going to know what hit him. I would love to see Erling Haaland against Brady Tkachuk. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see Erling Haaland go up against Brady Tkachuk. That's going to be a great matchup. That's going to be like Gabrielle versus Haaland. They're going to be in each other's faces. They're going to be pissing each other off. It's going to be great. Vertical Gambit, glad you did this on a Tuesday. If you would have done this yesterday, I would have thought I was still drunk from the weekend. No, we live in a fantasy world right now. And from like 9:25 to now, we're living in a fantasy world. This is the greatest soccer. This is the greatest show on artificial, or this is the greatest team on grass. It's the greatest team on grass right here. No one is stopping this team. No single person. No team in the history. I'm not even talking prime Spain 2010. I'm talking the Centurions Man City. No one is stopping this team. I'm telling you. Who is Brady Tkachuk? Just search up Brady Tkachuk and you'll see him fight every single person. So watch the opening of, what is it? The 2020. Watch the Four Nations. Yeah. Watch the opening of the Four Nations USA versus Canada, like the group stage game, and you'll find out who Brady Tkachuk is. Dude, we might have Brady Tkachuk do the kickoff, and he just comes in and starts fighting people. Maybe we get a red card, but like at least we put the fear in everyone's eyes, because that's all that matters. Intimidation. Man, that was
either look up that or
I thought it would have been. Nate, you might have to do one.
That or no, that would be that'd be great. I think I got some good ideas in mind. You gave me some good ideas. Either that or look up Keith Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk was their dad, and he was like, that was back during the era of the NHL where they like actually had like legitimate enforcers. It wasn't just kind of like a thing, but no, it's no, Brady has lived up to everything his dad was. Was he in Miracle 2025? Yes. Brady.
Did you see
was,
the one
yes.
with vertical gambit? I want Alex Caruso on this team so he can do the strategy and their taxes. Hey,
Oh,
if Alex
jeez.
Caruso, hey, well, at least we'd probably have a bald head down on this team. But Alex Caruso, he'd be a good bench guy. He'd be a good
Yeah.
He'd be a good glue guy. I think I didn't even do the bench. The bench would have been insane. I mean, we're probably talking Patrick Mahomes is probably on the bench. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, no, I don't want Cade on this team. I don't think Cade would be good on this team. I think he's too slow. I think he's too flat-footed. I don't want Cade. Definitely not Jalen Duren. I'll tell you that. Could I put in Yaxel Lindemore?
No.
I'm just kidding. No, not. Could I put Bryce Underwood on this team just for the potential? We talked about having a young guy on the World Cup roster to have experience. I think
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood would fit this mold perfectly.
Yes.
He'd
I
probably
agree.
complete like 9 passes. Let's see. Who else could we throw on this team? I don't know.
Yeah,
At
who
least
else
not
am I
any Ohio
thinking?
State players because I don't want softness on this team. I don't want softness on this team when it comes to Ohio State. So Keith Kachuk was
That's fair.
great back in NHL 99. I forgot Dave played all the NHL video games.
It's best.
Yes, Goons mean enforcer. Yes. And we have
Yeah.
that's the perfect center back partnership. An enforcer and someone that's very smart and also physical. Dude, just put me in charge of US Soccer. I have the team right here that's going to win
Got
us
the
World
formula.
Cups.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we got some more soccer news to get to. Looks like Neymar will
Ooh.
be playing
What about this
for
one real quick?
Brazil.
What about Bryce Harper on this team? He'd be a hothead for sure.
Yeah,
Vertical Gambit is asking about Bryce Harper.
Harper's a really good athlete. You know who I would? You know what? Who in baseball I would put ahead of him though? Either O'Neal Cruz or Ellie De La Cruz.
I like
Either
Ellie De La
one of
Cruz.
those two. Ellie De La Cruz is athletically speaking, I mean, I've been in like G League arenas. I've been he's the best athlete I've ever seen, ever. Like in front of me, it's crazy. And people are like, "Well, he plays baseball. No way he can be the best." No, I'm telling you,
Trey
like
Turner.
his length, his speed, everything. Trey Turner,
The entire
probably
Miami
not.
defensive line, sure, they're huge. As long as they slim down a little bit, we'd have the most insane back line. Ruben Bain,
Oh,
Akeem
this was-
Mesidor.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying Aaron Donald the other day, and I feel like that would be a good one.
Aaron Donald.
If Aaron Donald like lost a few pounds. But then again, I think people forget how good of an athlete Aaron Donald was. Like he
I
was no
forgot about
slouch.
Aaron
Like
Donald. Oh my God.
he wasn't like Vince Wilfork, you know. Like he was
I would
actually
switch
like
Anthony
athletic.
Edwards with Aaron Donald. I'd switch the two. I would. Switch.
I was a little surprised not to see that. I was trying to
I
figure
forgot
out
about
which
Aaron
one
Donald.
that you had
Totally slipped my
mentioned the
mind.
other day, and I'm like, swear there's one on here he was talking about, but he didn't put on there. So yeah, AD, it has to be, and not the Anthony
Not
Davis.
Anthony Davis,
I mean,
because
Aaron
he's gonna be
Donald.
hurt after 2
No.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna go up for a corner and break a fingernail. Up, Anthony Davis
Yeah.
out of the World Cup.
Yep, he's done. He's out of here. Oh my goodness. No, but that's a pretty solid list there, Ryan. That's like I said, I think that's the only one that I would add is probably Aaron Donald. I don't think I would take anybody out necessarily. You know, it's interesting when you talk about these guys like directly translating over from like the game they already play, they would probably be terrible. But again, if
They're
if,
gonna
like,
be great. I got the
these-
blueprint right here. U.S.
know.
Soccer.
Oh man, have you seen those social media before we take a break here? Have you seen those social media videos about like announcing the lineups for the different countries?
I've not. No.
I gotta show you some of those. Those are funny. Packers acapella team.
That had T.J. Lang. That had Clay Matthews. Oh my! I don't think Aaron Rodgers. Who the Packers in pitch perfect. Oh, I think Bakhtiari was in that one as well.
Yeah. Yep.
The lineup was okay. T.J. Lang, Jordan Rodgers, who's a former QB and the brother of Aaron Rodgers, Don Barclay. Okay, it was like the entire offensive line, including Clay Matthews, David Bakhtiari, Josh Sitton, T.J. Lang. Yeah, so they'd be some dogs. They would be some dogs out there. What can I tell you? They would be some dogs.
Let's talk a little World Cup coming up next. We got Neymar playing for Brazil. Also, those ticket prices starting to change a little bit as we get closer to the tournament. All that and more coming up next here on Inside the Game.
Experience the thrill of the game like never before with NSN's Game Rewind.
Dive into full match commentaries enhanced with cutting-edge dynamic graphics,
Letting you relive the highs and lows of your favorite matches in astonishing detail.
whether it's a championship win or a legendary play.
NSN Game Rewind bridges the past and future with a broadcast experience designed to captivate.
Call 586-304-4405
And start watching today.
Inside the Game continues along here today on this Tuesday morning on the National Soccer Network. We say hello and welcome back in. Nate Wangler and Ryan Galinsky getting more into World Cup conversations. He's talked about our all-time 11, if our best were to play soccer here in the U.S.
Should have put Michael Phelps up there.
Declaring that would be a good
Michael
one.
Phelps
I would certainly.
Michael Phelps is the goalie.
Novak Djokovic isn't from the U.S., is he? Or is
No.
he? No,
I don't think so.
Okay, I was gonna say,
I think Federer.
but
Is it Federer American? Or no, he's
Roger
Spanish.
Federer, that's who.
Is he Spanish?
Really?
I think Roger Federer is Spanish.
I thought he was from the U.S. Is he? No. Okay. Also,
he's
maybe work
Swiss.
Tiger
Oh, I
Woods
was
in
wrong.
there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Oh, he's
Djokovic
Swiss?
is Serbian. I think.
Okay. All right. Anyways, but yeah. So if you want to go back and look at that one, they probably would be unstoppable. But let's get into the World Cup
Damn straight they would.
stuff here. And man, we just keep getting like breaking news in the middle of our shows. I guess it's the perfect time to get breaking news, right? Cristiano Ronaldo named to the roster for. We asked the question, I don't know if it was last week, maybe a couple of weeks ago now, of whether or not he is going to start for Portugal.
Anyway, looking at this Portugal team, João Felix forwards, Trincao of Sporting. I don't even know who that guy is. Pedro Neto, he's more of a winger. Rafael Leao. I think realistically, Felix, Neto, Gonçalo Ramos starts over Ronaldo. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think those players are better than Cristiano Ronaldo. To be completely honest with you, I think that they would start over him. But yeah, I just don't see a scenario, because if Portugal is really serious about this, I don't see a scenario where he starts. I don't see a scenario. And he's probably going to whine. He's going to cry about it. But no, I don't see an option where he starts.
And I think it matters more for the record that he sets. I mean, to be at 6 World Cups, I don't think any other player has been to more World Cups in their career. It's funny how this Ronaldo v. Messi conversation has kind of turned into, it almost in a lot of ways feels like the same conversation we have with, MJ and LeBron. Obviously MJ is the more decorated in terms of championships, but in terms of longevity, obviously no one's done it better for longer than Ronaldo. 6 World Cups. I mean, that's wild, but is he starter caliber now? No, I think it's okay to say that too. I think obviously Ronaldo fans are going to be very protective of his image if we were to even suggest that he's not starting 11 material, but that's kind of where we are. The only troubled thing is, though, Ryan, is like if you're Portugal, like you have this, obviously from a PR perspective, in trying to maintain that relationship and be happy and not get off to a dramatic start in this tournament. The decision of whether or not to start him from a logistical standpoint, I don't think they have to. You're right. To your point, I think their midfield is great. I think they're in a solid position. They don't have to put him out there to start. But it's also Ronaldo. Who's going to tell Cristiano Ronaldo that he can't be in the starting 11? Who's going to be the manager that's like, we don't, we're good. We're good. We'll rotate you in a little bit later on if we need you. I think that's why it's, even though he's maybe not to the level of being a starting 11 player, I still fully suspect to see him out there in the starting 11 for Portugal. I don't really think it was ever a question of whether or not he would get the call, but whether or not he would be a part of that starting group, I don't know. I think they will either way, but again, do I think he is what he was and that he will carry them to a World Cup final? No. And I think if you truly do believe that, you're kind of lying to yourself, looking at where Ronaldo is in his career right now, looking at, how he's performed in the Saudi League. He's getting to that point. I think he's 41? I think he's 41 years old. I'm pretty sure. 40, 41, something like that. So, no, it's impressive. It's really impressive to see him go to 6. That's crazy. That's unheard of. But is he starting material? I don't believe so at the moment. No.
I think in order to have a Ronaldo conversation, I think you also have to have a Messi conversation in there as well. And I think both of them are in different. I think both of them, Ronaldo and Messi, are, because Messi actually is. I mean, he's going to get called up to the roster, but it hasn't been announced yet. But he will also be a sixth World Cup appearance as well. Which, by the way, this is the easiest GOAT conversation of all time, because both of these players played in the same era. This isn't like MJ, LeBron. Like, well, MJ played in the 80s, LeBron played now, or
that's true.
Or anything like that. That's why this GOAT conversation.
That's why they both need to go. Well, that's why Ronaldo needs to go to the MLS, so we can
just so they can. That would be the marketing behind that. The marketing behind it would be insane. But with Messi and Ronaldo, I think both of them are in different parts of their national team careers, I guess. Like, Ronaldo is just past it. Like, Ronaldo, like, I genuinely don't feel like the players on Portugal truly respect Ronaldo. I don't think they truly like this dude, I guess, if that makes sense. I mean, it just feels like he's just a douchebag. Messi, on the other hand, the reason these players, like, Messi was supposed to quit this team back in 2018. Like, he was not supposed to show up in 2020. He was supposed to quit in 2020 after the Carabao Cup, the Copa America debacle to Brazil and missing PKs. But this group, the Enzo Fernandez, the Julian Alvarez, those type of players, like, they vouched for they wrote letters to the Argentina Football Federation. It was like, we want Messi, like, don't go anywhere, like, Messi, please don't leave us, whatever, we want to play with you. So there's a big difference between the Argentina players and the Portugal players. Portugal players, I'm sure 10 years ago probably looked up to Ronaldo. Now it's like, dude, we get it. You're old. You're really good once upon a time.
Yeah.
But, like, now it's like, old man, like, just step away for a little bit so we can handle things. The other side of Argentina, I have never seen a single player in the history of sports have the team. Ronaldo would be crazy if he plays for Orlando. I had a little Florida rivalry there. I have never seen a team, a starting 11 or starting whatever, come out to they're about to walk out on the field, but they wait. They wait for Messi to walk up and lead them out there. I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that happen. So I think both of them are in different aspects, but Ronaldo, I just don't see him starting. I don't see him. But the Neymar thing, that one's really cool too, because, like, it's his last dance. I do think Neymar gets a lot of unnecessary hate, to be completely honest with you. I don't like Neymar personally. I don't like him the way he plays, whatever. But there is just a sense of, like, he is like compared to Messi and Ronaldo, and he's just not that. Like, he's just not compared to that. Like, he just is not comparable to both of them, to be honest with you. What is his name? It's like, the phrase is like the prince who never became king is Neymar. He was the prince that never became king. And, I mean, I agree with it a little bit. He was supposed to, overtake everyone. To be honest with you, he kind of reminds me of Kyrie. He reminds me of Kyrie a little bit. He steps away from Messi, steps away from LeBron, and goes off and does his own thing, and it just doesn't live up to the billing, like, just doesn't get it done, but still puts up impressive numbers. And now he kind of goes off to Dave. Ronaldo is past it. Can't believe I am agreeing with Ryan. Hey, Dave. Hey, hey, a broken clock is right twice a day at least, right? So there you go. But no, it just Neymar. I just don't like the hate on him because look,
Yeah.
he was like basically compared to like R9 with the Brazil side, R9, Pele, all that. Look, he wasn't on the field when they lost 7-1. When Neymar was not on the field in the 2014 World Cup, they lost 7-1. That's as much as I'm going to say about Neymar. I think he gets too much unnecessary hate for whatever reason. And I think that it's pretty cool that he's going to be in the World Cup one last time. Argentinians are crybabies. Look at the cry when something doesn't go their way. Do I really want to put up? I just defended Neymar. Do you really want me to put Neymar back up there again? What does Neymar do? What does Vinny Jr. do? Hey, as much as I love Gabriel complains all the time. It goes both ways with the South Americans. Brazil, cry. I have said, because my dad always hates the flopping, he hates the dying on the field. I go, the reason Americans, as in USA Americans, hate soccer is because of South Americans. Look at the flopping, look at the diving, look at them crying a lot. Europeans do it to an extent, but it is not anywhere near what the South Americans do. So that is night and day difference. That's why Americans hate the game of soccer, is because of South Americans.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's just the way they play the game. And there is a strategy to it, right? Because if you're able to do that, you put the other team in a worse position, you give yourself more set piece chances, you have a chance of winning, right? So that's why it's hard when you understand the strategy behind why they do those things. It not that it makes it okay, but it just adds another layer of context as to why this is happening, right? So it makes it easier to understand. However, people still want to get away from it. Now, I do think Neymar leans into that. I think he does a lot of things that people are like, it kind of takes away from the game. And I do think he has obviously a wonderful career. It is hard to live up to expectations when people put that on your plate. Like, you are going to be the next guy. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, you're going to have a great, wonderful career. You're going to do all these great things. That's one thing. But again, to crown someone the next thing, we do this every year. Every time someone has a good run or a good couple of years or a good performance, it's like, well, they're the next guy. It's like, whoa,
we're too
wait
quick
a
to
minute.
crown people for sure.
This is way too fast. Like, we got to relax a little bit. Like, we can't just let Neymar be great for what he was without being like, well, he wasn't one of the greats. I mean, I understand that, the highest transfer of all time at $222 million pounds, dollars, I'm not even sure, but remains the all-time leading goal scorer for Brazil's men's national team. I mean, surpassing Pele's record of 77 goals with Brazil. Obviously, you look at some of the other things that he's done in his career, with Barcelona and how great he was with PSG from 2017 to 23, obviously before joining the Saudi League. I mean, multiple goal scoring records, assisted on a whole lot of goals. This is a player, Neymar, that it has had a great career. Is it coming to a anticlimactic finish? Absolutely. But I don't think it's very fair to just be so knee-jerk about, oh, he should have been this, or he should have been that, or he should have mounted to this or that. Listen, he has a history in South America with winning for that Brazilian team. So just the fact that he's there for the World Cup, maybe that gives a jolt to a Brazilian national team that has been a doormat leading up to the World Cup. I mean, they have just not been exciting or fun or anything that we're used to seeing out of South America. I mean, there used to be a standard, in Brazil, and the way that they played and the way that they just, but they're not even a part of when we talk about, who's that champion circle going to be in the World Cup at the end of the day, Brazil's no longer a part of that conversation. So, just having Neymar there in terms of his legendary status, and obviously for our sakes, I mean, if he was in the MLS, like, if there was a Neymar and Messi match, or say Neymar and Ronaldo both came to the MLS to like play out the rest of their career,
Neymar's going to be on the Vegas team.
Yeah.
So I gotta argue real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, Nate, but I gotta argue here with
no, you're
with
good.
Our good friend,
you're good.
Fabian. What did he say? Neymar was given the torch, but he didn't perform. Neymar was not on the field during 7-1. He got hurt against Colombia on your home turf, so he was hurt. He got a knee to the back that like broke his spine or whatever. I don't know what you want him to do there. And he wasn't there in 2010. He won you a gold medal, by the way. He did win you an Olympic gold medal on home turf. I know that's not a massive thing, but he scored the game-winning PK to do that. Neymar didn't play during the 7-1 loss. He wasn't on the field. He got hurt against Colombia the round before, and even Thiago Silva was suspended for that one. And you really want to talk about people crying, watch that one. Then you go to 2018. 2018 Brazil against Belgium. That Belgium was a better team than Brazil. Way better. Lukaku, prime Eden Hazard, KDB, Chadley, Witsel, Fellaini, Vincent Kompany, Alderweireld, Courtois, Vertonghen. That team was better than the 2018 Brazil team. I would take De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Hazard over Neymar, Gabriel Jesus, and Willian. And if you want to throw Philip Coutinho in there, who was trash by 2018. That team was not good. Let's be real. I don't know who they even get knocked out by in 2022. Who did they lose to in that one? Because I don't even remember Brazil. They didn't get out of the court. Did they lose to Morocco? No, they lost to Croatia on pens. So it's like, would you rather? You would have lost to Argentina regardless in the semifinals. Would you have rather lost to Argentina in the semis? I'm just saying. Neymar gets too much unnecessary hate, and I don't even like Neymar. I don't even like him. But he gets too much unnecessary hate, and it's so annoying, man. It is so annoying. Please, for the love of God, stop hating on Neymar so damn much. He is delivered for you. He's won Copa Americas.
Yeah, I just personally, I don't understand it.
Damn.
Like if you want to get mad at the you want to get mad at the way the game is played, again, that is one thing, and I can meet you halfway on that because there's a lot of people that probably feel a similar way to you do. And I'm watching the video yesterday of Neymar, yelling at a referee for like 2 straight minutes, and it's just a part of what it is too. And I also think for some of these older guys, there becomes a sense of entitlement as you get older, right? Like you expect a more preferable whistle to come your way as opposed to maybe once upon a time. So I think there's probably an element of that too. But I will say this, the reason why the World Cup matters as much as it is because if you win it, your entire reputation and everything about you as a soccer player, it is either cemented or it completely takes on a new tone. If Brazil somehow finds a way to win a World Cup here in 26, which again, I don't see that happening. I think that's a little far-fetched. However, if they somehow find a way to do it, we better be talking about Neymar in a different light, and you better keep that same energy when it comes to it. Again, I'm not calling my shot here. This is not me saying Brazil is going to go win a World Cup, but you better keep that same energy. The all-time leading scorer and arguably the greatest country that's ever played this sport in Brazil, and he has a World Cup too, and he has these other accolades. I don't know. That's why this tournament means as much as it does. And you better believe, if we're going to go to talk about reputations and, what you're looked like in terms of the pantheon of soccer's greats, better also believe that Cristiano Ronaldo is also feeling this pressure at the same exact time. Like, this is the last dance. And we talked about the passing of the torch, like in the NBA, of the old guard to the new guard, the Wembanyamas, the Chet Holmgrens, the SGAs of the world. Like, that iteration of the NBA is coming up now. Now we have, the Lamine Yamals in that group. And I do think Lamine Yamal himself has a chance to be one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. Now, obviously, I don't know what his injury status looks like. They say he'll be back for the World Cup, but you see the Messis and the Ronaldos and more than likely the Neymars, this might be it. And so for Neymar and Ronaldo specifically, this isn't as much of it is a country and a pride thing. But I think more than that, I think it is a reputation, it is a legacy thing, and it is the one thing that they need to get if they want to be considered, even in that conversation, as one of the greats. And for Neymar to just, kind of shake off the disrespect that he's gotten. But it's fascinating how in a culture where rings matter as much as they do, and I would damn near say they mean everything. it doesn't surprise me why people bash on Neymar the way that they do. Again, if you
Yeah.
don't like the complaining and the referees and all that other stuff, I get it,
Sure.
but it doesn't mean he ain't great,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Vertical Gambit,
But-
heading out. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Vertical Gambit. We
Yes, sir.
we appreciate you, my
Appreciate
guy. You want to take a break and maybe talk about World Cup tickets?
Yeah, let's do it. Barca Academy, proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network and the official academy of FC Barcelona in the United States. Designed for boys and girls ages 6 to 18, Barca Academy camps follow and replicate the FC Barcelona game model. Same philosophy used by Barca's professional coaching staff. Right now, you can save $30 on registration by using promo code FCB30. Again, that's FCB30, or scan the QR code on your screen. Find a camp near you at fcbarcelona.us/camps.
In Barca Camp, I sing my song Grown on and off of the field. Don't miss the time to register.
Sign up now for Barca Camp.
Back in live as Inside the Game rolls along here on the National Soccer Network. Little house cleaning stuff for you guys. No show tomorrow. Also no show on Thursday. So the next 2 days will be no podcast. But again, on Friday, we'll be talking to Neil Rule and previewing everything as it pertains to the USL coming up this weekend. Again, USL 2 and USLW rolls along with their matches of the week. And so we'll talk more in length about that as well. But Ryan, as we get closer to the World Cup, we have had some passionate conversations on here. We have disagreed in several respects on this topic. I think we can all kind of simultaneously agree that things are just in general getting more expensive, but the topic around World Cup ticket prices has been a popular one in many circles, in many spaces. And we had mentioned, FIFA obviously backing up their ticket prices and claiming that, hey, if you're willing to spend this much for college football, you should absolutely be willing to spend this much to go see the World Cup. And following the trends and following the money. You are to blame. And I said, that's a little hypocritical. We went back and forth about it, but there is some movement in terms of ticket prices as we get closer. My advice, wait them out. That was my advice from the beginning, and it seems like in some ways that's working, ? I don't know. What's the status that you have?
Just prices have gone down. The initial USA Paraguay game, all of them have gone under $1,000. So the average price now to get in is under $1,000. It's like $900. I also think the resale market is the reason why prices are what it is. Like, you can even see the resale tickets are going down. We also see some numbers today from Ticket Data and Analysis that the average price for group stage games have plummeted over 23% in the past month, and currently at the lowest prices ever, or lowest prices since January 17th. The average price to get in is now under $700, or is now under $500 rather. Then there is, like, prices are dropping like crazy. Again, I told you what I think was going to happen. I think it was simply the fact. Oh, by the way, I want to put this photo up here. I thought this one was funny from the weekend. This is Portugal. They put this up on a billboard. Said, to watch Portugal, it's $3,870. To see Portugal, to come fly to Portugal to see us on a vacation is $800. I don't know. I just found that funny. I just wanted to throw that up on there. But again,
That's funny.
but again, I think it is just an issue. And Dave, what are we gonna do for the next 2 days? It's gonna be torture. Hey, we appreciate you, Dave. Maybe
Sleep, man. Well, I mean, I forget he's in a different part of the
he's in
world. isn't he?
Scotland, so I don't think he
he's
can sleep.
probably, yeah.
Go to the pub early? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
maybe go to the
you
pub
got
early.
options.
Because obviously the Scottish Premiership's over with, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if Arsenal won the league, maybe I'll just hop on. If Arsenal were to win the league today, which I don't think is gonna happen, maybe I'll pop on for like an hour because the game tomorrow is at 11 a.m. So maybe 9 to, I don't know. Maybe I'll hop on for like 40 minutes. Maybe I'll talk to John, just do one special episode, I guess.
There you go.
For the fun of it. So anyway, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Also, no show Monday as well, which might also suck again because that's Memorial Day, national holiday here in America. Which if Arsenal wins the league, I will be able to do a show again. Anyway. What I'm trying to get at here is World Cup ticket prices are going down. I thought this was going to happen from the get-go, unless for some reason so many people jumped at the opportunity to do so. Like they're like, oh, I just want to go to this. I also think some of it is also resale people. Like I feel like there are people out in this country that their sole job is to buy tickets and resell them and make a profit. I think that is their sole job. Like I genuinely feel that, and I think that's what we have here today. I don't think that happens in Europe where people just buy tickets and then resell them at crazy amounts of money. That does happen here in America relatively often. So like one of my friend's sister was able to, she bought Bruno Mars tickets for Detroit and then made a $300 profit on both tickets. So like I feel like that happens quite a bit, but no. Good thing here for everyone. It's becoming a little bit more affordable. Still crazy amount of money, but hey, I mean, there was I think at least $500 minimum to get into Game 7 Pistons Cavs this weekend. So hey, you're gonna have to pay a premium to go anywhere to watch a premium sporting event, unless you're watching high school basketball or like high school football or something here. That's really about it. That's really all. You
Yeah,
can
I mean,
maybe you could get into little league baseball games for free. I don't know. Maybe so.
Yeah. I mean, it is the thing that we talked about before though was that like FIFA had actually set up a platform to get commission on resale tickets. Yeah, I think it was like the cut was like 15 to 20% or something along those lines. Like it actually set up a website to where they could resell those tickets and like do it through FIFA, which I think is weird. That's unprecedented. I don't. I've never heard of the NFL joining up with people in the resale market and being like, "Hey, let's take a chunk of these
from the business
tickets."
standpoint. That's actually kind of smart.
I mean, it's kind of crooked, but I guess if you want to call it smart.
Sure,
but
sure.
the other thing that I'll mention here. By the way, yes, there are people that make a career out of that. I mean, it's that way with shoes, right? You look at shoes, you look at apparel,
cards.
you look at anything. I mean, people literally buy up copious amounts of stuff and resell it. I think they're leeches on society. I think they're the lowest common denominator there is. However, if you can do it, you can do it. I feel the same way about like landlords and stuff. Just leeches, the worst. Anyways, but what I will say is that this was the point of what I was telling you all along. You have to wait it out. That's when you get your best deals. It's almost as if, because a lot of times if I were to go to, let's say like a Cubs game, it used to be when I used to go with my dad, we would just go to Chicago and just go to the area downtown, which, by the way, for the World Cup, like there's going to be places to watch these matches for free outside of the actual stadium itself, right?
Yeah,
so there's going to be TVs,
stuff, yeah.
there's going to be parties and watch parties and things. So you can still be involved in those and not necessarily go to the games. But if you wait until the last second, it's kind of right. It's kind of like the old school, like when the scalpers were like out front, like, like handing out tickets, like here's 3 of them for, I don't know, $40. I got to get rid of these. Like I can't hold on to these anymore. I got to make something on what I spent for them. It's kind of like the old school. That doesn't happen nearly as much anymore. Scalpers have kind of
I have no idea
gone
what you're
away.
about.
Really? You don't
No.
really? Seriously? Oh man, that tells me right there. Everything's gone digital. Yeah, man. When they
I've
used to give out
never-
paper, like people
No.
would buy tickets and they would literally just stand outside the stadium and be like, I got 5 of them. And you would just bargain. And you'd be like, well, here's how much money I got. And once the game's about to start, they don't really have a choice but to like sell those tickets, right? Unless they want to
Never seen
completely
that.
lose out
Never
on all
heard
the
of that.
money.
Never.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Never.
Yep. Ticket scalpers.
Wow.
Yep. So that used to be a thing, but now it's kind of like the digital version of that. They're gonna have to come down because no one is going to buy a ticket,
It's gonna make
go
FIFA look
around
bad.
and try to sell it. What's that?
It's gonna make FIFA look bad too if they have empty stadiums.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's currently
exactly.
30,000 empty seats
Right.
for the USA Portugal or Paraguay game. I'm pretty positive that they've only
Yes.
sold 40,000. I don't think so. I think continue. I'll find it.
No. It's just, anyways. It's just it would be a PR nightmare. You're right, to not have a filled out stadium. So that's just, again, from a fan perspective, I don't really get, and I don't really understand, and I don't really, again, see eye to eye with the fact that you would start ticket prices off as expensive as they are, because you also don't want it. The other thing that I think they capitalize on is the pressure to get in on those tickets, because if you don't get in on them early enough, they're going to be gone. And so I think that's where people are like, oh, I got to get them now. No, you wait them out. You wait them out, and then they end up coming down. Like that's how it goes, because eventually they're
Go ahead,
going to want it.
Ticketmaster, see if I can find anything. Maybe we're going to the World Cup today, guys. Maybe we're going.
Make something. Yeah, let's see some of the maybe opening round
By the
matchups
way,
that we
yes,
can
there's currently
catch.
30,000 empty seats for USA Paraguay game. Reports indicate only about 41,000 tickets have been sold for a venue that can hold nearly 70,000. So just under 30,000. Let's see if I can find myself some tickets. All right, let's go. Let's go to the USA Paraguay game, June 12th, SoFi. Okay, we'll accept and continue. Oh my God. Okay, it's still $1,000. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's go right here. That's like bottom bowl. Oh my God, $3,000. I think they're lying.
Okay.
I think they're lying. Okay, let's find one ticket. One ticket. No, I can't even find one ticket. 2 tickets. Let's go to the top. Let's go to the nosebleeds. Bro, it's still $1,000. Someone is reselling the final row for 3,000. Oh my God, 3,000. Jeez. Well, I mean, okay. It looks like we're not going there. All right, Brazil and Morocco. Let's see. Actually, Dave, we'll do this one for you if you're still in there. Haiti versus Scotland. Let's see what we got, Dave.
Okay.
Okay, so bottom row. Okay, $2,000 still. Okay. Okay, that one's under $1,000 for bottom row or for lower bowl. Okay. All right, let's go to the nosebleeds here. Okay, apparently I can't find nosebleed tickets right there. Gee, still $700 for the last row. Well, Dave, I don't think I'm going to be going to Haiti, Scotland. But yeah, there's the point there. We'll go through the tickets and we can. Is there a World Cup final? Is that on here?
Hey man, I'll buy the tickets if you buy like everything else that's involved in this experience. You know, like any concessions things or snacks or
Dude,
anything.
I don't even buy anything at concession stands. I don't even buy anything inside. Once I'm in the stadium, I eat before. I get like everything I can in there. Like I will maybe buy a water. That's still crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, World Cup final, fellas. Let's see if we're going to the World Cup final here today. I know we got to probably move on here. Jesus. All right. Jeez. All right. Last row. Section 319, row 26. $11,000. Okay. Let's go to 325. Let's see what we got at 325.
Doesn't get any better.
$13,000. It's even more. What?
Ooh.
Okay. What could possibly be the lower bowl? $17,000. Oh my God.
This is a group stage. This is the group stage game,
this is
right?
the final. This is the final.
Oh, this is the final. Oh, okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah, you will not catch me going to the World Cup final, guys. I'm sorry. I can't make it. I tried my best, but I'm not going, guys. I'm not going. There are World Cup ticket prices for you.
I would be interested to see the types of people that go to those matches. In
Kim Kardashian. There you go. LeBron
someone
James.
like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is there like a normal person in that crowd? Like, is there
Maybe
like
for
a
the
guy?
maybe for like the group stage matches, like Haiti and Scotland.
Is it right? Or for the final though, like, is there a normal dude in
Probably
the
not.
crowd anywhere?
I would say, based on those ticket prices, probably not.
You know, like, is there a guy by the name of like Fabian who took out a second mortgage on his house just so he could go watch the World Cup final? Like, is that a thing?
I would say no.
or
I would
is it
say
just
no. I don't think.
the
I don't think
richest
that's
of our
happening.
society who are going to watch the World Cup final?
I don't think so. I mean, $17,000 for the nosebleeds is or $13,000 is crazy work. Again, we are still probably June, July, so like 2 months away from the World Cup final, and obviously as
Yeah.
things play out, like I just don't think that's happening. I don't.
I
think.
mean, you know, are they going to get a golf clap whenever they score? You know, I wonder what kind of environment that
probably
would
probably
be
not a good one.
if
Probably
if
not
you
a good
don't
one.
have a single regular dude in that building.
I'd say no.
I don't know, man.
I would say no.
Yeah, it's worth talking about. By the way, 1 week away from the roster announcement for the U.S. men's national team on May 26th, New York is when they'll be announcing that. So I
what
know
time
that'll
is it?
be
What time would it
announced
be at?
on Fox. It'll be from 1 to 3, or rather, the reveal will be at 3 o'clock. So 3 to 4 is when they'll be officially announcing the U.S. men's national team 2026 roster. So
Okay,
we will try to,
Maybe we'll hop
try
on
to give
live
you guys
for it. Maybe we'll hop
maybe
on
some live reactions.
for,
to
the roster reveal. We may have to do that. Let's talk to John about that.
So let's. I'm gonna get some USMNT gear. By the way, I know I gotta get me some stuff. But to
Yeah.
wear as we get ready
you
for all
need
this.
some
so.
USA gear, really?
Hey, Sam, would you wear a Soviet Union hockey jersey?
Probably not. Maybe in Russia.
Got to do it for the love of the game, man. You got to do it for the love of the game and the
That's
history.
like me rooting for Team Canada in the Olympics. It's like I like Connor McDavid. No.
Hey, since Fabian already believes I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, should I get me like a Canadian soccer kit and then we can just like yell at each other the whole time? I mean, people truly believe it.
It'd be like
It must be.
It would just be two bums talking about their just two teams who just aren't good. Like no one really cares.
two bums and a mic. That's actually the new name of our podcast.
Two bums
so
and a mic.
we're gonna
That's the new
two
name
bums.
of the show. It's no longer. We're doing some rebranding, John. No longer inside the game is going to be
Yep.
two bums and a mic.
two bums, one mic. Anyways,
Well,
let's
it'll be two bums, two mics because we have two mics.
oh, okay, all right.
Two bums,
okay.
two mics. There we go.
All
New
right.
name. Tell us about Man City. We gotta get into this.
Yeah,
Pistons
let's
and Wemby and
let's do this.
whatever else you want to
Man-
talk about.
Man City Soccer Camps, proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network, bringing world-class training inspired by Man City's global football philosophy. Players across the United States. Open to boys and girls of all skill levels, these camps focus on technical development, decision-making, and playing the game the City way. Right now, you can save $30 on registration by using promo code MCNSN30 or scan the QR code on your screen. Find a camp near you at usacamps.mancity.com. Inside the Game here on the National Soccer Network, as well as Sports Nation, again, that's sports with a Z. Find us on social media. We'll be posting up all these videos there, getting into our all sports content here in our last show, at least for the next couple of days until we're back on Friday. Spurs getting the win. Game 1 yesterday against the Oklahoma City, the Western Conference Finals. My guess is the Cavs or the Knicks in the East. I mean, I'm watching this series with a level of fear and intimidation coursing through my veins, because what the hell did we just watch last night from Victor Wembanyama?
Could even say the Thunder
40-20 in game 1 against one of the best defenses in the NBA. Oh, and by the way, at 22 years old, like I heard many NBA players say this about Victor. The day he figures it out, everybody's in trouble. Everybody's done. This league has officially become his when he figures it out. Because the time to get Victor Wembanyama is right now. The time to get through to Victor is right now if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, because he's still 22 years old. Now he's picking up information at a rapid pace. But once he gets this figured out, it's done. It is officially done. And I will continue to circle back on this point until our friends in Detroit actually understand this. This league is dependent on stars. Mm-hmm. And if you can get one that is as promising as Victor Wembanyama, you can build anything you want around him. And so long as you have him on the floor, your chances of winning a championship are greater than the majority of the league in front of you. That's how important this character is in Victor Wembanyama. It's how much of a difference he makes. It is everything. And so, the question of whether or not Wemby is already a top 5 player in the NBA, I think we need to see the remainder of the series. I think we need to see San Antonio win the series and get to the NBA Finals to finally be like, we can put a crown on Wemby and say, hey, he's officially arrived. But we haven't seen that type of takeover ability since the first iteration of Cleveland LeBron. In terms of just one player that really is going to do the majority of all the things on the floor. Yeah, he plays a position by trade. Of course, he's a center. I mean, look at the guy. He's an alien. You're not going to play him as a point guard. But I have never seen anyone at that size with that ability do what he does from a prospect perspective. Not a completed player, okay? So I don't want anyone to be like, well, this guy's just talking nonsense or this is just fabricated BS, because it's not. But from a talented prospect and projectability standpoint, it's the reason why it frustrated me so much that the Spurs organization was able to get Victor Wembanyama, because we don't have to give the Spurs another all-time great big, okay? Like, they know what to do with their bigs. They're probably going to create another dynasty. But Victor Wembanyama is the most impressive prospect in basketball history. Prospect, not player. Okay, don't take my words and twist them around and be like,
wait, better than
you're
LeBron?
on one today.
Better than LeBron?
From a prospect perspective, yes.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
That probably hurt to say.
No, it didn't. Because, Victor is what, how many inches taller than LeBron is, right? Like, this is still very much a tall man's game. It will always be a tall man's game. Yeah, I love my shorties who are somehow able to make an NBA career out of being less than 6 foot. Okay, I really do. I appreciate that. All right, but Muggsy Bogues and like, is not going to be the greatest NBA player of all time. Had a great career, but from a true prospect perspective, Victor Wembanyama is the greatest NBA prospect of all time. And he is single-handedly trying to save the NBA from its mortal enemy, which is watching OKC go back-to-back. Now, the actual NBA as a league, I don't know. But as a fan, as someone who follows the sport and enjoys watching the sport, he's trying to single-handedly save everything. But from a defensive perspective, from a physicality perspective, which I think is as young as he is coming into the league, that was going to be the part, right? How did he physically develop? He's going to get pushed around. He's going to get bumped around. Like I thought Chet Holmgren got ragdolled a little bit, and obviously when he was early in the NBA, but now, you know,
Chet's a bum.
And yeah, Wemby handled him yesterday. So it is, I think we are watching, I think we're watching history in motion with what Victor Wembanyama is doing. And I also heard a ridiculous take the other day. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is not what I feel, but this is what I heard on ESPN. Not ESPN. I heard it on sports radio in Detroit. I was actually coming over to the studio to do the USL W game of the week with Neil Rule. And it's interesting whenever I make that drive because I like listening to the radio. I think I like listening to sports talk. There's something weirdly nostalgic about it, you know, like it was always on when I was a kid. It was always on everywhere I went. So even if it's just a couple of guys yelling at each other about nonsense, like it is something, there's something endearing about it. And so I listen to 96.1 until I get, you know, far enough away from Grand Rapids to where it starts crackling. And then I hear like Bruno Mars singing and someone talking about Anthony Edwards. And then I'm like, all right, now I got to, you know, figure it out.
Bro, just be hating.
And then when I get, and then when I get closer to Detroit, now 97.1 works. And so I'm like, all right, well, let me try this out. And I don't know what show it was. I don't know who it was. I don't remember. I'm remiss for not knowing. But someone said this yesterday. They're like, LeBron's final move, his curtain call of his NBA career is to join the San Antonio Spurs. There you go, Ryan. He joins Wemby in the Spurs, and he goes out and he gets another one, and we can put this debate to bed. He's the greatest to ever do it, 42 years old, winning an NBA championship. No one's ever done it, and he averaged 8 points a game.
Don't beat him, join him.
With 2 assists, and he was essentially a coach, but you know it counts just the same. I'm kidding. He would never do that. At least I don't think he would ever do that. We can talk about what we think his future is going to be. I think he likes LA. I think he likes Hollywood, so I don't think he would ever do that. But yeah, Wemby's the best NBA prospect, in my opinion, that we've ever seen.
That had to hurt you with LeBron. That had to hurt you a little bit. A couple of things. Dave goes, Dave goes, if I had the pennies, I would travel to the location and then find a local pub. What are the odds of me finding a Scottish pub in Foxborough and Miami Gardens area? I searched it up for him. I said there's a place called The Haven in Boston. It's like kind of Boston area, a little bit outside
very
of it.
Irish.
And
Very
no,
Irish.
it is specifically a Scottish pub. That's what it says on the website. Dave goes, just Google them. The Haven has ordered 120 kegs of Tennets. I don't know if that's I've never heard of that beer. My apologies, Dave. He's probably like laughing his ass off if I mispronounce that. He goes, think I'll be looking for. It looks like I'll be looking for my passport. Hey man, I guess it is the Scottish best-selling lager brewed in Glasgow since 1885. Ooh. So looks like Dave's gonna be making his way to the Boston Foxborough area. I think
they're not the same, Dave. By the way, they're different. They are.
That is true.
Same, different, but same.
So just to like be the party pooper here in terms of LeBron going to the Spurs are gonna be in cap hell here. So in like a year or two, they're already at the luxury tax threshold. They have yet to re-sign Wemby. They have not, obviously, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. They've got to figure those out. De'Aaron Fox is still locked up till 2030. Devin Vassell is locked up until 2029. Keldon Johnson's another 2 years. For some reason, Kelly Olynyk's making $13 million a year. Harrison Barnes is making $19 million, so they'll be able to get that off. But they're going to be in some cap. They're going to be in some cap issues here soon. But look, I think when it comes to Wemby, I think he was put in the best spot. The Spurs. The Spurs and Popovich. Obviously not Popovich anymore, but that is the best spot Victor Wembanyama could have been to. As a big, as you mentioned, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. Tiago Splitter was a dog back in the day. What can I say? But that is like... That is the best possible situation for the Spurs. And let's not kid ourselves. This Spurs team the Spurs and Thunder matchup is like two super teams going at it. I know that people probably don't know much of Dylan Harper because he's a young player, but the kid's a stud. But both of these teams are so deep. They have so many stars all over the place where this might be one of the best all-time playoff matchups of all time. When it comes to Wemby on the other side, the health thing still becomes a question for me because, like, how long can you move and play at that high of a level at that height? Like, I don't know. That still scares me a little bit because, like, that doesn't happen. And obviously big men and their injury issues and maybe blood clots and whatever it is just seems like an issue. And Wemby's not human. He's obviously an alien. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. And I just don't know how long this is going to last. So I think the question is I put on there, when does this become Victor Wembanyama's league? Newsflash, I think this already is Victor Wembanyama.
It already is.
I think it already is there. What he did last night, he's going to be MVP next year. He could have easily been MVP this year, I guess, if they didn't want to give it back to SGA and give him back-to-back. But I think this is Victor Wembanyama's league, to be honest with you. And maybe he has a little bit of a team fall off like the Nuggets have with Jokic. But I don't see that happening because the Spurs are so deep. They're well managed. They have so many studs and young studs all over the place where they'll be able to do this. So I already think this is Wemby's league.
Ownership. Okay, if you have the right people in the right places, you're gonna win more games. That's the reality, right? So this is the reason why this rivalry is developing in the Western Conference, which, by the way, I think the element of Victor Wembanyama feeling the disrespect of not being named MVP is huge in this series. I think it's giant. I think it makes everything. And I think the NBA in a lot of ways has woken up a monster by catering to Oklahoma City. I know what SGA can do, but you do that, you piss off Victor Wembanyama, this is what you're going to get. And you got it last night. Now, again, mind you, if he gets hurt, now all of a sudden this is a different story. I certainly hope that's not the case. But I think you were on to a point there, and I think you struck a chord with there's a level of disrespect that I'm sure Victor is feeling, and it's why I always love how the MVP thing is released before the season's actually over. You know what I mean? Like, that adds a little fuel to the fire in the last couple of weeks. But no, if you wanted rivalries back in the NBA, you got it. You got it. And you got it in massive doses. And this is better than even what the last iteration of what we saw in San Antonio and Tim Duncan going up against KD in Oklahoma City. This is whoever wins this wins the NBA championship. The only reason why it's not people are asking the question of when is it Victor Wembanyama's league. The only reason is because LeBron still has a uniform on. That's the only reason why it's not technically his league. You know, as soon as LeBron is done, it is.
And Luke Kennard's got the same jersey on. That's why. There we go. I just want to go
the great white American hope, Kennard.
The Thunder right now, because obviously all the contracts go into effect next year for like Chet, Jalen Williams, or not Jalen. What's his name? Jalen. Yeah, Jalen. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong Jalen Williams. I'm like, that's not Jalen Williams. Jalen with an E. And then Shea, obviously, he continues to go up. He goes up from in 2026 to 2027. He goes up 21 million, just in his baseline salary. Which the Thunder next year are $2 million away from the second apron, which is crazy. So both of these teams are going to be in contract. You know what? It's like it's going to be horrible, and it's going to be interesting to play out in all of it. Let's just stick with you want to go to the Pistons now? Because obviously the Cavs Knicks, I could care less at this point. I just want to watch Thunder Spurs. Like, I'm not watching the Cavs Knicks, and maybe to see Josh Hart just get absolutely obliterated out there by hey James Harden. Can you kick your legs out at Josh Hart? That'd be pretty nice. So I
know you got your wish list, but yeah, let's get to it.
Here is my Pistons offseason wish list. I didn't put it on there, but I'm going to start off with this. Let Duncan Robinson walk, and obviously Kevin Huerter walk. Let both of those guys walk. That clears up, I think, roughly $33 million in cap space. But anyway, let's get into my Pistons offseason wish list. Number one, send the house for Trey Murphy. He's got 3 years left at $25 million, 3-level score. He could D up. This is why I would rather have him over Lauri Markkanen. He's way better defensively than Lauri Markkanen. I also don't see the Jazz moving on from Lauri Markkanen when they just got Jaren Jackson Jr. Send the house. I'm talking 3-4 first-round picks. Here's why. First-round picks are less valuable every single year, especially with the emergence of NIL. Maybe you throw in Ron Holland in there. Maybe you do a little bit of a sign and trade for Tobias Harris because they have similar contract numbers. Maybe you got to throw in Karis LeVert for all I care. I don't care. Get rid of that. Number 2, sign Ayo DeSumo in free agency and bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. on a vet minimum. Tim Hardaway Jr., more threes made this year than Duncan Robinson, and he had around less in the playoffs. And he was on a vet minimum this year. He plays good defense. All he's got to do is hit threes. You're going to see a theme here. I'm talking, this is the summer of 3-and-D. This is what I'm after if I'm the Pistons. I'm getting straight defenders and people that can knock down shots. Ayo DeSumo, he had a really good, impressive year. I don't know how much money he's going to really want, but he averaged 15 points a game. And most importantly, why I wanted Ayo DeSumo is because he can handle the basketball. He takes smart shots. He can create his own shots because during certain stretches of the game, I would like Cade Cunningham to not run the offense for 3-4 possessions straight, just to give the guy a little bit of a rest. That's why I want Ayo DeSumo. And plus, I liked him at Illinois, even though I hated the team of Illinois. But, hey, I liked him at Illinois. Number 3, try and get Duren on a 1-year prove-it deal. If he wants $40 million, see ya. And it was reported today that it's going to be about $40 million is what he's going to want. Look, there is an issue with Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren. When both of those players are on the floor, they are historically the worst offense in NBA history. Worse than all the Charlotte Bobcat teams before they had Kemba, the Brooklyn Nets teams. Even worse when we were winning with like Killian Hayes. They average 88 points per 100 possessions. For perspective, the Brooklyn Nets, when they were winning like 10 games a year, were at 91. Just saying. And when Jalen Duren and Ausar are not on the floor, Duren's numbers actually go up quite a bit. He averages 3 points better. His shot percentage goes up by 10%, averages less turnover with both on the floor. A decision's got to be made with one of those two. Either you move Ausar to the bench, or you take Duren and you just let him walk. I don't know what you do. Maybe you get him on a 1-year prove-it deal. I wouldn't mind that. The only issue is maybe the age and all that. And then the last thing is, if we were to keep our draft pick, I imagine if we were to get Trey Murphy, we would send our first-rounder this year. But I obviously am just taking, right now, if we were to keep it, Isaiah Evans from Duke in the first round. Everyone's like, well, you just talked about 3-and-D guys, Ryan. Duke doesn't hit threes. Isaiah Evans can hit threes at a high clip. He's about 38% from 3.
Yeah.
Takes about 4 or 5 threes a game. He's athletic. He plays defense. He's a 6'6" wing. Can handle the ball. Not as great as probably Cade and DeSumo and all those guys, but he can still handle the ball a little bit, create his own shot. He can jump out of a gym. But that is my Pistons offseason wish list. And if I were to maybe say one other thing, just get Cade help. That's all I got to say. Just get Cade help.
What? Fire JB Bickerstaff? What?
Whoa, Ryan, you said that? That's crazy.
I didn't hear that one in there. Sorry. I didn't know if that was a part of your list.
Sure, throw him in there.
No, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. The 1-year deal for Duren is a necessity. Listen, and if he wants to test free agency, see if he can find something else,
go ahead.
Fine. Go test free agency. Let us know how that goes. After the cataclysmic
the Washington Wizards
collapse.
would sign him. Let's be real. They'd be like, he was an
probably.
all-star last year. Bring him in.
Probably. I mean, like that uniform by itself in Washington speaks for itself. I mean, it's the place where careers go to die. But no, I mean, Scott Boras has had a history of doing this. Like, test free agency. See what number you can get. And then come back to us before we sign on the dotted line with anything. It's what he did with Tarek Skubal. It's what he's going to do again here when it comes to Jalen Duren. Now, obviously, 2 very different storylines. Skubal's the most sought-after pitcher in Major League Baseball. Jalen Duren has cement feet. But see what you can get, see what you can do, and then maybe we'll try and work something out. Because if this organization binds itself as closely to Duren as they would need to, with the amount of money that he's looking to get, you're screwed. Unless you think you can do what you did this year and somehow win an NBA championship with Duren, Cade, and then a bunch of role players, maybe. But I think it is a product of, yes, they absolutely have to get better at shooting. They absolutely have to get better at floor spacing. But I also just feel like they were unorganized. They were just out of position. It's not all on him. But I think there's a reason why Cleveland fired J.B. Bickerstaff. Maybe because they couldn't get past the second round. Maybe because they kept falling short in those situations. Sure. I know they didn't have James Harden before. I get it. But I think that's also something that's worth investigating as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, is there anybody out there that would be a better fit for this team? Because it was just whatever that game 7 was, and we saw
Tom
Izzo. It was sad. It was uninspired. Yeah, Tom Izzo.
So
I don't know. Like I said, if he ain't going to the Suns because Ishbia's there, he's probably ain't gonna go anywhere else in the NBA.
No, I don't ever see Izzo leaving Michigan State. But no, I just want to go over for next season right now. Our cap is $133 million, which means we have, I think, $18 million to play with. And that is in that $133 million still includes Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. Who Karis LeVert I thought had a player option or a team option. He doesn't. Duncan Robinson, on the other hand, does have a team option. So again, you could clear up 16. He's making 15.9 next year, so you could clear up $16 million that way. There's also a team option on Marcus Sasser next year. He's making $5 million. Maybe you could get rid of something like that. That's completely up to the organization. But no, like I cannot see Tobias Harris back on this team. I think he's a little too inconsistent for at the age of 34 now. Next year, he's going to want $25 million roughly. But if we were to throw this back up here for a second, if we were to just get Trey Murphy. If we were just get Trey Murphy, THJ doesn't come back, Ayo obviously is not a thing, and we were to get Jalen Duren, and let's say we re-sign Jalen Duren, and then let's say I don't think we would have our first-round draft pick, but if we were to get Trey Murphy, I would be happy immediately because this guy is everything that Pistons fans and myself have been clamoring for. Get Cade help. Trey Murphy can handle the basketball. He can create his own shot, which is the number one thing. And it's not like this Tobias Harris thing either, where it's like, back you down, let me hit a fadeaway or something. No, he can create his own shot on all 3 levels. He can drive to the basket. He's a good defender. He's long. He can stretch the floor, which is the most important thing with this team. That's why I said it's the summer of 3-and-D. Just stretch the floor any way you can. Because Ausar, which it was weird, like that entire, I don't know if you heard what Kenny Atkinson said yesterday about Ausar Thompson, or post-game rather, which was defensively, or offensively for the Cavs rather, he goes, whoever was being defended by Ausar Thompson, it was get the ball out of their hands immediately. Just wherever he is, go the opposite side of that. Then offensively on the other side, it was, if Ausar Thompson has the ball, stay away from him at all times. Like that's what it was. And Ausar Thompson, if he could just have a consistent mid-range jump shot, anything like that, he would be so elite. He would be an all-star. I would pay money for him, but there has to be a decision made about Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren. One of them either has to be moved to the bench, one of them has to be gone, because those two players cannot play together. They just can't. And it's statistically proven. It was proven in the playoffs this year. There just has to be a decision made about one of those two. And I think if I'm being honest, I would rather have Ausar Thompson out on the floor than Jalen Duren. But I also look at it with the center position and how it's a tall man's game, as you mentioned. Maybe they lean into having Jalen Duren more simply because of everything. Look, guys, we can't recreate the bad boys. I guess we can.
You can't have,
we can.
You can't win an NBA championship. Right, you can't win an NBA championship with a bunch of Ben Simmons running around out there. No. I mean, great athlete, long, can defend.
That's why Ron Holland's got to go. I can't have 3 offensively challenged players.
No, absolutely not. No, you're right. Let's get the question of the day.
Question of the day, which, by the way, for us Piston fans out there, Paul Reed, still with the team next year. He's got a team option, so hopefully we continue to pick that up. But anyway, question of the day brought to you by Salt Athletic, an official sponsor of us here at the National Soccer Network. Use promo code NSN15 to save 15% off that #1 spell-proof clean bag that 100% works. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit saltathletic.com today. But question of the day is, this one is for our baseball guy, Nate. We haven't really talked baseball recently, so I thought I'd throw this one in there. What is the Tigers' biggest issue? Because, man, do we suck?
I don't know. I mean, where do you want to start? I think the biggest
They can't
problem
hit,
right now.
they can't pitch. Everyone's hurt.
Yeah. I think that's that last part that you said really is a concern. And I know that we want to obviously talk about this team and that they can't hit, and I agree. They are still very much offensively challenged. I think the bullpen has regressed quite a bit from where they were the last couple of
100%.
years. I think they used to be one of the best in baseball. Now they have completely struggled. And by the way, much like success was contagious last year, really from top to bottom, it's the same exact way, but the other way and not around with the Tigers organization this year. And it really does come down to being able to maintain the health of not just our major league organization, but our minor league organization as well. There is no team in Major League Baseball right now that has more players on the injured list, more players that are not available to play than the Detroit Tigers. It is very impressive in a bad way to see exactly how far they've regressed in that way. And so now, you know, the question becomes, how do we change this? Is it because we're hitting velo too often? Is it because we're training in this way or in that way? You know, I've heard the mentality that, you know, well, you don't want to go full bore 100% all the time because you're going to end up hurting yourself. You know, you're never really going to, especially when you're in the field of play, you're never going to hold back. Of course, you're going to give 100% effort. There's no such thing as not giving 100% effort. But how do we get away from the dangers of getting these players to a point physically to where they can compete on a high level? Because right now, whatever the Tigers are doing from a development perspective, major league, minor league level, is resulting in these injuries. You know, in the majority of them,
playing too hard? Are they practicing too hard? Are they hitting each other with pads?
No. But I mean, one of the biggest, the hammock bone, right? It's a part of like the hand/wrist area. It's like one of the biggest problems in the organization right now. So what does that mean?
The hammock bone?
No, hammock. Yep.
Hammock
like,
or ham? What? What
like,
is it?
It's like right here.
What's it called?
Yeah, the hammock bone. I think that's what it's called. It's like in the hand. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Hand. I've never heard of it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Hook of the hammock. So a small, fragile, hook-like projection on the hammock bone located in the palm of your hand just below the pinky finger. Okay, so actually, no, I'm mistaken. Sorry, that was wrist. So it's actually more right here.
Oh.
But you think about when you're hitting velo all the time, right? When that's the only thing that you're ever working on, I mean, this is probably the most fragile part of your hand when you're swinging a baseball bat, right? I would imagine. And so those are the things that are breaking and are sidelining a lot of these players, amongst other things, shoulders, UCLs, whatever it happens to be. You cannot put a good, consistent product on the field if you're constantly dealing with a carousel of injuries. And that's where this Detroit team is right now. It is hard to establish any confidence or consistency, not to mention you don't have Verlander. You don't have, obviously, Jackson Jobe is still, you know, dead. I don't know where he is. You also don't have just
Javi.
I already said Verlander. You don't have Javi. You don't have a lot.
Is
of
it
these
Mize
guys.
hurt?
Mize is well, he just pitched. No, I don't think he is at the moment. But yeah, man, I mean it is, and that's why, like, I'm okay with staying away from the baseball conversation a little bit. Because what else do you say about it sometimes? I mean, we can talk ball all you want. Like I'll take up a half hour of the show talking Tigers baseball if you want to, talking about MLB. But at a certain point, we know why this team can't win. You can't keep the guys on the field. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are supposed to be playing are not playing. And the bats and, you know, and those other things as well.
Everything.
Everything seems to be kind of falling in on itself. So, but I think the injuries, man, I think they've played a bigger role than what a lot of people would give it credit for.
I didn't know this. I didn't know that existed. Didn't know that existed today. Learn something
Hook of
new
the
every day.
hammock.
That's what the Two Bums and Two Mics podcast brings you. Is you learn something new every single day. So yeah, my thing is we're just trash. I don't know. I don't. I really pay attention to the team fully closely, to be honest with you. But it's sometimes I just do it. We don't make the plays that we should make sometimes. Like I remember Wentzell in the Royals game. I think 2 weekends ago on a Friday night. If like he fields the ground ball, throws it in, we probably don't give up a run in the ninth inning. Obviously, anything could have happened. But if he just fields a routine grounder in the outfield instead of letting it go past his glove, and then that guy turns a single into a triple to, I think, with like 1 out in the inning, we might win that game. So it just feels like we're just missing like the very simple things. And I don't know. I also don't value the first half of the season with this Tigers team. So, hey, anything can happen.
I hear you. That'll wrap up episode 291. By the way, our next episode will be coming up on Friday. That is our conversation with Neil Rule on the USLW and USL2 games of the week, but we will not be on tomorrow. We will also not be on Thursday. So make sure you keep it locked on social media. We'll be posting all of our clips there. National Soccer Network as well as Sports Nation. That is sports with a Z. 1 week away from that U.S. men's national team lineup being announced. Keep you guys updated on everything as we continue to go and continue to provide you coverage here on the National Soccer Network. But until we see you for 292 on Friday, so long, everybody.